In this video, we're going to go through how to add a full-page loading spinner using the async functions in LiveView. Loading indicators are essential for signaling to users that a process is underway, especially during asynchronous operations that might take a few moments to complete. In most cases, due to the async nature of Elixir, you don't need to block a user from interacting with the page, but there might be a few cases when it's needed. I will demonstrate this by adding a button that, when pressed, triggers an asynchronous task with a 3-second timer. While the task is running, a full-page spinner will be displayed to indicate that the application is processing. Once the task completes, the spinner will disappear, and the result will be shown. Great! Let's start with opening up the LiveView module. I already have the basic LiveView with a render function configured. First, we'll add a button that will trigger our demo. Inside the render function, I'll insert a button component and assign it a PHX click event named Start Task. This button will serve as the trigger for our loading spinner. Next, we'll add the click handler for this button. Below the mount function, I'll define a handle event function for the Start Task event. For now, this handler will simply acknowledge the event and will expand its functionality in the next steps. Let's handle the button click event and initiate our asynchronous task. We will use the functionality in the async result module from LiveView, so I will alias that on top of our module. This module will add functionality that helps us manage the state of our async operation, including loading and failure states. Next, we'll update the handle event function for the start task event. We'll use the start async function to begin our long-running task, naming it long task, and simulate a 3-second delay before returning a completion message. I am assigning the loading state with async result loading function to loader. And while I am at it, I need to update the mount function so it assigns the loader attribute with an empty value as well. Besides starting the task, we need to add handlers for when the task is completed as well. For that, we'll define two handle async functions. The first one processes the successful completion of long task by assigning the result to the socket using async result OK. The second function handles any potential failures by updating the loader state with async result failed. Note here that they need to have the same name, long task, as in the start async. Let's handle the required changes in the template to display the state of our long-running asynchronous task. First, we'll add the async result component. This component will conditionally display different content based on the state of our async operation. We'll pass the loader assigned to it to manage these states. Within the async result component, we'll define 3 sections. The loading slot will render our full-page spinner while the task is running. The failed slot will show an error message if the task encounters an issue. Finally, we'll add a div to display the result once the task completes successfully. I haven't yet actually created the full-page spinner component, so I better attend to that right away. I will place this new component in the core components module. As with other components in this module, we'll add a new function named full-page spinner. Since this component doesn't require any attributes at this point, we can keep it straightforward. Inside the full-page spinner function, we'll begin by setting up the outer div. We'll use Phoenix.js bindings to handle the mounting and removal animations, giving a smooth transition when the spinner appears and disappears. To achieve this, we're applying Tailwind transition classes. Next, we'll add another div to lock the body and prevent scrolling while the spinner is active. Within this locked container, we'll center our spinner by creating a flex container that positions the spinner in the middle of the screen. Finally, we'll insert an SVG element that serves as the actual loading spinner. We'll apply Tailwind CSS classes to animate the spinner and adjust its size and color. These are something that you likely want to customize for your application. And there we have it. This video was a little on the shorter side, but we managed to get into LiveView's async tasks, creating a new reusable component and add new functionality to our toolbox.